We are live. What's up, you guys? How's it going? Let's wait a tiny bit while everybody's jumping on, and I just put some sort of background music all over the place because why not? And all right, as you're coming in, just drop a message in the chat. Let me know if everything is okay, and we should be good in a bit. Ooh. Okay. Okay, that was loud. All right, what's up, y'all? Nice, dope, amazing. Welcome in the house. And we can just sort of get started. All right. Okay. We're going to be doing some sort of music in here. And with that said, we should be getting started in just a second. Okay. All right. Hey, okay. Hi, I'm the Somali guy. Okay, that's amazing. We were on a call today. Dope. All right, how are you? I'm doing great. How are you doing? Hello, everybody. Welcome on this stream. Welcome, everybody. Hope you guys are doing amazing. And we are 90 people live. So I just want to grab the attention of everybody. What's up, you guys? It's David here from cleverprogrammer.com. And today we are going to be building the Google Drive clone. So I just want you guys to take a quick look at what we are gonna be building right here, right now. And this is actually the working Google Drive. Once again, this is something that you guys asked in a form, which is, by the way, down below in the description. So you guys, nope, this is a 100% live Black Ops 2 20,000, I think. Yeah. So. Yep, this is 100% live, and this stream is actually something that you guys asked. I got a message by one of you, and so that's why I created this. So today we are actually going to be building this very Google Drive that you can see here using ReactJS and Firebase. So we can actually, we could actually say that normally for a free Google account, you get 15 gigs of storage. Now you as a developer, you can pretty much create a new one, which is going to be adding an additional 5 gigabytes. Okay. So that's an unfair advantage for developers, but whatever. Okay. Okay, so I got this question. Should I code along? Yes, please code along. That's the most. But in case, because I'll be going a bit fast, but in case you can't stay, like, you're not fast enough. How do you say that? Whatever. I'll be dropping down a GitHub link down below in the description once I finish this live. I'll just push it to GitHub and you guys can go ahead, clone it, and then just play around with it. What's up, Florida? I'm gonna watch it when you're done. Okay, sounds good. All right, with that said, let's get straight into it. So what I actually went ahead and done already is in this terminal, I've already done the npx create react app part of things. I missed a dash over there, but that's not a problem. So I've already done that, and because I'm using Yarn, I am super fast with this. So I highly recommend everybody goes ahead and installs Yarn. And by the way, just quickly, a massive shout out to Amanath. We are actually on a call, and he's going to shout in if something's up with the stream. So yes. And yeah, exactly just how Pranav says, npx create react app Google Drive clone. That's it. And while we are actually there, it's actually a good idea to go to Firebase right away. And let's just get that set up in the meantime, okay? So now it is time to follow me if I'm a bit too fast, not a problem. This is recorded. This is going to be, once again, massive shout out to Kyle, our amazing editor. He's going to chop this up and we'll make a shorter version of this very video so you guys can go ahead and just quickly run through the whole thing. So with that said, I'm gonna go into my Firebase console, create a brand new project which I will call Google Drive Clone Live. I don't need Google Analytics, so I will be turning that off. And yes, we are going to be using database and the auth. Egypt says hello. What's up, Egypt? How's it going? And yep. So it's finishing up. We got the project up and running. And okay, we got 120 people live. That's amazing, guys. So if you guys aren't pumped about this build, because I sure am, make sure to smash that like button for that YouTube algorithm and just make sure that it looks blue, okay? So that's something super important that actually helps you become a better developer. I'm joking. All right, so in here, because we have already the project, we're just gonna add a new application. We can just call it, like, I don't know, Google Drive and whatever. You can also go ahead and set up Firebase hosting. In this video, I'm not going to mess around with that because I just want to get this done fast and so you guys can have the most value in the shortest time. What's up, Peru? And how much knowledge does it how much knowledge of React does it require? Actually, not a lot. Okay, so don't worry about that. Just go ahead, try to follow up, and you will see where it gets problematic. All right, so we will need two things here to do right away. One of them being is going into authentication, and we will just need to go ahead and turn that on. So we will be using, we were just hitting on get started, and we will be using Google Authentication. So I'm just going to turn it on, configure it. So that's going to be my email then. What's up, Uzbekistan? Hi, Nigeria. What's good? And yes, we will be using Firestore. Oh yeah, actually, then we need to do 3 stuff. Bang. Amana's got the point. That's what's up. All right. Okay, let's continue. So in the Cloud Firestore, I'm just going to go ahead, create database. I will start it in test mode, so make sure to know that. And US Central is amazing. So, oops, I clicked that of it. So next, US Central and enable. So what's up, Praned? Welcome to this channel. I see you're new. I'm super pumped that you're here. Make sure to check around in the channel because we have a ton of tutorial already and we have a ton more coming up. I personally have like 20 just I could tell you on top of my head. So make sure to stick around and welcome to the channel. All right, so that's it for our Firestore for now, and let's go into project settings and copy that config file from there before we do anything else. So make sure to just copy that, and yep. Hey, that's amazing, Pranan. You just subbed. Amazing. All right, so okay, what we will do is, because I've already done this. So what I've done here is I created a new folder and said ndpx create react app space dot. So that actually went ahead and created a brand new React application for me. Okay, so I just have it done, and because I'm using Yarn, and I highly recommend you do that too, it was super fast. Yes, sketch errors, you can learn a ton of useful skills from here. Even if you are a complete beginner, I'm trying to keep it as beginner friendly as possible and help you guys with as much stuff as possible. So make sure to stick around and try your best doing the whole thing. Okay, you might get stuck, and that's 100% okay. Can I hack NASA with HTML? If you try hard enough, yes, you can. So going back into our VS Code, I think I'll zoom in a little just so you guys can see everything perfectly in there. And I might move around a few different windows on my other screen. Hi, Kyle. I'm new here and I hope I learned something new. You will definitely learn a ton of new stuff. All right. And I just made the music a little bit louder so you guys can hear it too. And okay, so what I will be doing here is I'm going into source folder, all right? And going into app.js. Now there is a ton of unnecessary stuff. So if I go back in here, start a new terminal in that same folder and just hit yarn start, that will go ahead and open up the React app that I just created in this folder or in this browser window, hopefully. Oh yeah, I need to. Okay, because I have something running on 3000, I have to open it in 3001. There we go. So wait just a little bit for it to load. And nope, I am not going to use Redux today, but I have a ton of stuff coming up that will use Redux. So yes, I actually watched the 1 hour of the new 2021 Python tutorial. That is amazing. Guys, if you are interested in learning Python and AI, then definitely make sure to check that video out. Yes. Oh my God. Thanks, bro. All right. So with that said, let's continue. So I have this basic React app right over here. I am not going to be able to work with this too much. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete everything inside of here. And this extension is dying. Okay, so I am not going to use the logo anymore. But notice that I keep the app CSS import over there. Next up, I'm going to delete all the test files. So app.test.js and setuptests.js is going to be deleted. And how do I go about learning React from scratch? You can learn it here. If you know a little bit of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, this is the perfect place for you to start. And I will also delete the logo.svg file. Going into the app.css file, I will just delete everything. That way, I am just getting rid of all the styling. What's up, Liam? I remember. Okay, guys, I just want to stop here for a little bit. Liam, Amanath, and I were actually on a Clubhouse Zoom or Clubhouse room this morning, 8 a.m. Pacific. So, guys, if you're interested in that, make sure to check out Amanath and myself on Clubhouse and just give us a follow so you guys know that we go live there every single day. You can ask us whatever. You can just chat with us. This is basically, you just bring your coffee or tea, whatever you drink, and then just get started and we just shoot the shit, right? So that's an amazing way for anybody to just reach out to us. Nope, I do not have a YouTube channel. I only create content on this very YouTube channel. And how much time does it take to learn React from scratch? Not a lot. I mean, the more hours you put in, the faster you will get. All right, back to the code. I deleted everything from the app.css file, so that's amazing. I pretty much reset my CSS right now and my styling. And going to index.css file, you guys can see it up here. I will be just going ahead and add a star and a margin of 0. That means everything is going to be shrinked to the side of the window. Ooh, I maybe should make this circle a little bigger. Okay, I'll play around with that. All right. GitHub profile, of course. I'm not sure. Whatever. So let's continue. So I added a margin 0, and if I go back to app.js and add a h1 and just say, "What's up, clever programmer fam?" and a rocket. Okay, okay, where's my rocket emoji? Okay, that's a rock. Rock is even better. So if I go ahead, hit a little bit of a refresh, I actually don't need to because React has automated refresh. No, I am not using OBS Studio. I'm using Ecamm. It's actually a bit better. All right. So now, as you can see, everything is on the top left corner. So that is amazing. We have our CSS set up back to normal. So that's something cool. And let's just get started, right? So quickly, what are we going to be doing here? So let's just start with a little bit of outline over here. So first thing first, we will need to authenticate the user. So we will definitely need to have some authentication up top. Authentication right there. And inside of here, what we actually want to show is in case the user is not authenticated, right? So not or no authentication, then what we want is we just want them to log in. That's just going to be a super simple, just a Google Drive logo and a button to log in. That's going to be all it. Now, in case the user has already logged in, so auth equals true, then what we would do is we want to have a sidebar. We want to have a files view, and we want to have a side icons. Now, let me show you what I mean by that, okay? So if I go back here, we obviously have a header on the top, so that's something I forgot to write there, but we would just put it there. And we will also, so this is the sidebar that we have here. This is some sort of main area. This is, I called it the files view. This has a two things. One of them is these file cards on the top and the list of the files. And if I go ahead and do this, that's actually the side icons. So by the way, if I haven't showed you, like I can pretty much go ahead and let me just switch back to my face and find a good image. Okay. So if I have this image over here and I say choose to upload and I hit upload, it's actually going to start and go ahead and start uploading. So this is functional. Okay. And it should be somewhere around here. So I think this is it. This might be. Yes, that was the image that I just downloaded. So guys, this Google Drive is actually functional. You can upload and you can download files with it. So as real world as it gets. All right. So we got 176 people live. That is amazing, guys. Give yourselves a round of applause. Oh boy. I don't even know where my music is going. Okay. All right, that's it. Okay. So with that, let's actually jump back into the code. One question. I'm new to front-end side. Please suggest me how should I go with Vue or React to land the job as a full-stack guy at first? I would 100% suggest going with React. Easier to learn, better, future-proof, and everybody is on React. So if you have React on your portfolio or resume or something, that is almost guaranteed having a job already. By the way, we have a ton of people who have landed jobs as React developers inside of our course Profit with JavaScript. So that's something to keep an eye on, because we had Jen who doubled her salary. We had Frank who got a almost 180K project. We have Devin who is now working at PayPal. So just something to keep in mind. All right, let's go back to the build. So I forgot the header. I'm just gonna add it here and not worry about that. So actually we are going to get results with get started with the header. Okay, so for that, what we will do is we will actually go ahead and create a few different folders, because otherwise it would get hectic. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say I will have a styles folder. That's where all the CSS will go. I will of course have a components folder, And inside of that components, that's where I will have my header. Okay, so if I just go ahead and actually add another folder, that's going to be my header, and inside of that header folder I will have an index.js file. Okay, makes sense? And guys, this is a point where I want everybody to stop for a second and go into the extensions bar, search for ES7, and get this. This is the #1 best friend that you will ever have as a developer. This tool has saved me so much time and headache and all that stuff. So guys, now go ahead and download that. Okay. With that done, I'm just going to go ahead and type in RAFCE, hit return, and that's why it's my friend, because I typed in 4 letters and it gave me 12 lines of code. This is a full working React component, by the way. All right, so for the header, we will have a few different stuff going on. We obviously have a logo on the left-hand side, so let's get started with that. Context or Redux, go with Redux. Always Redux. Always try to future-proof yourself, okay? Hey, what's up, Darkspot Academy? Welcome to the stream. Amazing to have you here. All right. And with that said, right now what we will do is I'm just gonna give it a class name, so when I'm referring to this in the CSS file, I will know what's going on. So let's just add the header over here in here, and inside of there I will have a header underscore logo, as well as later on a header search container, right? And we will obviously have a few different icons. So if you guys take a look at what's going on in here, okay, I need to log in. Okay, so this is how we log in. Okay, I just show you guys how I log into this one. So I'm just gonna go ahead, hit my and with that said, so on the top, that's my logo. Then we have our search bar and we have these icons. Okay, so this is 3 different pieces. These are the 3 different pieces of the header. All right, I'm just gonna reorganize my windows. Dope. And so that's what we are building out now. So I'm just gonna say header icons. Boom. So that's pretty much how we outline the header. So let's actually go ahead and do that. So what I want to do is I want to have an image tag in here and a span, which is going to say drive. Okay, so that's pretty much how this is built up. Okay, so for this file, I highly recommend everybody goes ahead and search up Google Drive icon. Okay, so if you just go and Google it and go to the images, you will want to select this icon. Okay, the second one, file Google Drive icon 2020.svg. Okay, and you can just go ahead, download it and work with that. But because I have it downloaded, I'm not going to waste too much time on that, and I'm just gonna grab this folder and put it in my source. So I have this media folder, right? Hear me out. I have this media folder, and I'm just gonna hit Google Drive icon, and that's the file that I use. Okay, so that's literally the one that I just showed you. Okay. That being said, though, we can come back here, and what I will do is I'm just gonna go ahead and import that Google logo. Okay, so the G Drive logo is actually located in the media folder as the Google Drive logo.png. Okay, all right, who is actually with me? Just I don't know, you can show your hands, but like just drop a yes in the chat if you're with me. Okay, let me know where you guys at, if I'm going too fast or what's going on. Let me know in the chat where you guys at. So yes, okay, amazing. Okay, Dope. That's good. Okay. All right, everybody. Okay, to the. I don't speak Spanish, bro. Tu dale, amigo. All right. Okay. Going back to the code then. And what we will now do is, because I have it imported, I'm just going to go ahead and copy. And but guys, by the way, if you're not here with me, don't worry. I will put a GitHub down below. Plus, I have a faster paced video of this very live soon up. All right. So, and I'm just gonna put it in here between squiggly braces. So that is actually gonna go ahead and import that and add it in there. Now, I just opened up the app that I'm working. So you would expect that I would have that logo in there, but I don't. The reason for that is I haven't actually imported it in here. So what I will do is I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna add the header. All right, so let's just say header and close it. Now this is going to freak out now because I still haven't imported it. I just added the tag, right? So that's not how it works. You need to import it. So I'm just gonna go ahead, hit import, say header, and I'm gonna go ahead and say 4. And in there, in the components folder, in the header, that's where I have it. Okay, boom, that's it. And we have the drive and we have the logo. So that's amazing. I can see the code even 480. That's good. All right. So with that said, we have a working header. Now let's go back and finish that up because it's by far not finished. So for the logo part, we're pretty much, that's all what we will be doing. We only need an image and a span tag. Now for the rest, we will have a search bar, right? So let's take a look at how it will look like. So we will obviously have a search bar in there in the search container, because the container is actually strips out all the way. Let me show you. Let me show you. So as you can see, as in the normal Google Drive, this is the search bar, but the icons don't start all the way just on the right hand side. So all this space is actually filled up with pretty much nothing. But that's where the container takes place, because that's going to push everything to the sides and then have the search in there. Okay. I mean, that's a good point that you just made. I can change that. Like, why not? Okay, let's actually do that real quick. So if I go into public, go into index.html, and go into here, and I'm gonna say Google Drive Clever Programmer. Bang. There we go. That's a good one. That's a good catch. Okay. So that's a good catch. All right. So if you're into that, you can go ahead and do the same. Not really necessary, but it's a good catch. All right. So inside of there, we definitely want to have the header search bar as a separate div, right? Makes sense. And in there, we will have a few different things that we will need to add in. We will need to have this search icon, this I don't even know what this is. Yes, it is the Google Drive clone. Okay. And what editor do I use? I use VS Code, but with a fancy theme. And for that, to know which theme I'm using, you will have to wait for another video. And you will obviously need to add the search in drive text. Now for this is where actually Material UI comes in. If you guys don't know what it is, Material UI is the design language of Google. So all this is actually using Material UI. And so Material UI, okay, is the design language of Google, and it has a bunch of icons, what are amazing, and we will just use those. So going back to my browser, what we will do is you can just go ahead and search up material UI icons, and that will give all this stuff for us. Am I really clever? Yes, I am. Thank you. Yes, I am. And you know what? Who's clever? Who smashes those like buttons, right? All right, going back here, the first one is the one that we want to have. Yeah, drop down. That's a good good name. Okay, so we definitely want to have the search, which is going to be this. So I just want to go ahead and save it, and it's actually called expand more, I think. Yeah, expand more icons. So those are the two that you want to save. Now, this isn't everything that we will be using, because we have to go into the terminal and we will have to install a few different stuff. So I will just type in yarn add at material-ui/core, and this is not enough because we will need to install the material UI icons as well, but those come after the core. So make sure that you first install the core and then the icons. All right, so let's actually wait a little bit. Anuj Yoshi asks if he's late. No, you're not, bro. We already started, but don't worry. You can just continue where we left off, or you can just go ahead and watch it. But we will have a chopped up version of this video up in a few days or something. But this is actually a good way that you can ask questions if you're here live, and I can answer those. So with that said, I have installed all these stuff. What are my advices for younger developers? Just start, bro, and just do it. Stick with it. 14 hours a day. You can do it. All right. Is the search work or just design? It's just a design for now, but you can make it working. Like the reason why we do all these builds is that you can get these and understand what's going on and how to build these sort of stuff, and then later on you can take this into your own projects. And maybe if the client, if you're a freelance developer, wants to have the ability to upload files and then list them, this is the app that you will use, and you already have an understanding of what's going on. All right, so actually we might as well just go ahead and build a search engine sometime. All right, in here we will just go ahead and add these two. So the search icon and the expand more icon are going to be coming in here, and I will wrap this inside of the search one. Boom. And the expand more. Where is my expand more icon? That's it. I messed it up. Okay, I want this to be here, and in between I want to have an input. Yes, an input. Come on. Okay, input type text, and placeholder is going to be search in Drive. Yes. All right. Okay, this is how you want to build it. So inside of the search bar, I will have the search icon, the input box, and the expand more icon. Okay. Yes, I do recommend Yarn. And no, I don't have COVID-19. What's that kind of question, bro? So yes, if you're debating between Yarn and npm, just go with Yarn. That's more future-proof. That's newer. Not a lot of developers know about it, but if you just like, speed is everything, and Yarn is faster. That's it. You will spend plenty of time debugging. So that's my take on that. Okay, search icon. We have all this stuff ready, so we are pretty much the functionality of things are getting together. So yeah, there we have all these things. Now we want to go ahead and add those icons in there as well. And this is where things are gonna get crazy. because we will have a few different kind of I don't know, styling going on here. So what we will do is, okay, first let me actually show you what's happening in the original one. Is I actually cloned it from the real Google Drive, so yeah, but we have these two icons over here, yes, and a little space, and this icon and that icon. Okay, so that's how that's just how Google Drive is. Okay, so we will clone that, we will add a little spacing in there, but that's it. So inside of the icons, what we will do is we will add a span tag, and in there we will have two icons and another icon and an image. So the image tag will actually use the user photo that is actually logged in. Photo. Okay. So if I were to go log out of the other one and then just log in with a new account, that image would be showing up, but that's gonna be used later. So what's the name of the color theme used? Make sure to stick around for my ultimate 2021 top 10 extensions that will make you a better and more effective developer with these extensions video. I'm still coming up with the name, kinda. That's where I will be releasing that. All right. So we will have a few different icons coming into play. We will have the help outline, the settings icon, and the apps icon. So these two are actually going in the span, and we will have the apps icon coming right under. Again, these are coming from Material UI, and obviously we need to install and import them. Okay, so you can go ahead, check those out, and yeah, that's pretty much how it is built up. Okay, so we have all these importation. I don't want to spend too much time on it, and yeah, let's continue. So why do I have two index.js? Because notice that I have the components, and inside of components I have the header, and this is the index.js file of the header component. Okay, so that's actually that will actually come into place when you will be building bigger projects than this one, or like huge stuff, and then you will thank me for showing you this kind of technique and organization of files. All right, let's go ahead, check back to our application. Hello, Hamza. Okay, so that's pretty much how it looks like for now. Don't worry about it. It's kind of ugly, but we will just go ahead and take care of it. So if you go into our styles folder and just hit the header, I think. Hold on a second. Yeah. So if you're just going to go ahead and add a new file called the header.css, and we're just gonna start adding in stuff. So if I target the header and add a display of flex, everything is going to be next to each other. I will add a height of 60 pixels and a border bottom of 1 pixel solid, as it's solid, and RGB 219, 219, and 219. That is actually a nice little grayish tad. It's still okay. I haven't imported it. Okay, so one thing that as a React developer you don't want to miss out on is importing the style files. Otherwise your application is gonna look ugly, even if you've created a CSS file. So that's something to keep an eye on. I just made that mistake. So yeah, that's something. So what I will do is I'm just going to go ahead and import the file using this line of code. So it says import. I will go up a folder into the components one, and then go another one up into the source one, and then go into styles and grab the header.css file. So always use up the... You can use app.css, but then it gets super cluttered. Yeah. All right. So now I should have that something happening. Okay, so if I zoom in here a bit, this is the display fax that everything is getting next to each other. And I have this nice little border bottom, 60 pixels below the top of the screen. So I have this plant on my desk and it's on the way of my mic's boom arm. So excuse this stuff. If you mentioned, sorry, but what's your IDE? It is VS Code. I am using VS Code. I am trying to move away from VS Code because I hate it, but this is the best. It's a little crazy, but that's what it is. So going back to our header.css file, I actually want to make sure that the width of this is a 100 view width, and we are pretty much done styling the header as a whole. Thank you so much, saying my content is useful. I really appreciate your being here. So that's amazing, and I'm super glad that I can give you guys value. So what I will do now is next up I will trigger all the divs inside of my header, and I will just add a padding of 12 pixels. And going down, I will trigger my header logo, and I will get a bit faster because this is gonna be the most boring part. Like this is just not that right. Okay, so my header logo, I want that to be display of flex. I want to justify the content to flex start, and I want to align everything. So align means that vertically I'm aligning everything to the center. What's up, clever programmer? And we will align everything to the center. So let's actually check out what I am doing here. So I'm trying to fit that icon in the middle, but for some reason it's still too big. Okay, so we will just address that issue right now. So what I will be doing is I will just target the header logo, and inside of there, remember, we have this image tag. Okay, so that is the logo. I will just give it a height of 100%, so that will take up 100% of the parent's height. Okay, so the parent is the header logo, and the image is going to be as high as the header logo. Okay, and I'm just gonna add something nice, an object fit. Actually, let's just take a look at how it looks like now. It's not really good, but I want to add an object fit contain, and now everything is going to look much nicer. I'm just gonna add a little bit of spacing in between, otherwise it will look ugly. So let's do that. So inside of header logo, I will have this span, which will have a color of gray. Okay, and we will also want to add a font size of 20 pixels. Right, 20 pixels, a font weight of 500, and a margin left of 16 pixels. Okay, let's take a look at how it looks like now. So much more like Google Drive. Okay, so like just notice the differences. Like it's grayish, it has those little bit of span in there. So yeah, okay, so you see CSS components with style components, for example. In this tutorial, I am not using style components, but I will have a few different tutorials where I will be using style components. So I just want to diversify the content that we have here. So yeah, for now, I will be going with different CSS files. All right. Let me actually drink a bit. What's up, Ben? Mern is coming back. All right. So now that I have styled that Drive logo, let's move on to the search container. Okay, so this is going to be the part that we are building out, this over here. So everything from there all the way here. I hope you guys can see that. All right, going back, I'm just going to say dot header and search container, and I will give it a flex of 1, display of flex. And by the way, the flex of 1 is actually going to stretch out all the way to both sides, and it will just smash everything just like you smashing the like button, but it will smash everything to the sides. And yeah, so that's why I do that. And what I will be doing is I have made the Tesla homepage. That's very good. Thanks for teaching us. Amazing. I'm super pumped that you've made that. All right, and so display of flex, and next up I will align the items to the center. So vertically I have everything to the center added, and I'm adding a padding of 8 pixels. I turned the like button blue for the MERN coming back. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Be like Ben. Smash the like button. Make sure it looks blue, just like my background, and make sure to smash it in an uneven numbers, okay? Because otherwise, if you smash it like 2, 4, 6, 8 times, it's actually going to end up being unsmashed, and that's not the desired outcome, okay? All right, enough of me talking about smashing the like button. So amazing, Kyle. I'm so pumped that you find it enjoyable. Awesome. Yes, we will have a Twitter clone. That's an amazing one. Thank you so much. Why are you not using Sass? I will be using Sass in other tutorials. This one is plain CSS. So search container, and now moving on to the header search bar, and it will have a width of 45%, a height of 120%, a border radius of 6 pixels, and a background color of RGB. And this is going to be 237. Oh my god, what did I mess up? I messed something up. Hold on. RGB once again, 237, boom, 237, boom, 237, boom. That's it. Okay, now it's cool. Will you do view streams? Nope, I'm not planning to do view streams, but guys, if you really want to, I will do view streams. Why not? But I actually don't recommend learning view. It's just such a pain in the ass, but whatever. For you guys, I'll do anything. Next up, we will be aligning the items to the center in there as well. So you might be asking, why am I aligning everything to the center? Because I want everything to be in the center. Makes sense, right? And we will be giving it a padding of 0 and 8 pixels. Now what's happening here? On the top and the bottom, I think that's the 0, and on the right and the left, that's going to be 8 pixels. I think that's how it is. Yes. And guys, please make sure that only talk in English in the comments, because otherwise I will feel insecure and run away from here. What about the Discord clone? We actually have one, but I can make it better if you want to. And inside of the it's going to be a little bit of global, but I want to set the color of these icons right over here to be gray. By the way, let's take a look at how our app looks like. Kind of getting there, right? Kind of getting there. Not ugly, not that ugly as it was, okay? We have this nice little background area, and we are getting there, okay? So now we're just gonna set the color of those SVG icons, and that actually has a specific class which is available at Material UI icon documentation, but it is the MUI SVG icon dash root, and I want to set the color of RGB 828282. Also, what about the clone that hosts a website? What do you mean, like hostinger clone? Yeah. Yeah, okay, so we just set those colors. Those just turned a little grayish. I don't know if you guys can see it. I just barely, but yeah. All right, next up, let's actually get rid of that ugly search thing or input while making it nice. Okay. So advice to upcoming programmers, do it, bro. Put in the hours, work for it, and it will be amazing. Next up, why isn't... All right, here we go. So next up, I will be targeting the header, search bar underscore, and inside of there, the input, and it will have a flex of 1, a height of 60%, a font size of 16 pixels, a color of light gray, yes, and a background of none, because we just want to cancel that out. Like, it's actually a bad thing that HTML inputs have those ugly background, and it's a good way for you to learn how to remove all that ugliness. Oh, we also want to cancel out all the borders, and the margin left is going to be, so margin left is going to be 12 pixels. Let's take a look at how it looks like now. Okay, nothing has changed so far. Something's up. Yeah, oh yeah, I added this D there. Okay, it was a typo. It's always a typo. Okay, we have that thing. Okay, and for some reason the flex one not seem to be working, but we will take a look at that. It's important to put root. Yes, it is important, because otherwise it's not going to target that specific item. Okay. So header search bar, and what we will do is, once again, we will get that input, but we want to get rid of that ugly bluish border once we focus in there. So we were just gonna say outline, it's gonna be none, and a color of black, because that's what the tags that we type in we want. So we want the text that we type in to be black. Okay, and yeah, so if I type in here, it's gonna be black. Amazing, dope. Okay, something's up. All right, whatever, we will take care of that in a bit. Okay, so the header icons, let's actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Okay, yeah, same. Okay, there we go, dope. All right, so next up, we will move on to the header icons. So header underscore icons, and in there we will obviously have a display of flex and a align items dot center and a margin right of minus 30 pixels. So that's good. And once again, we will target all those icons inside of there. Oh yeah, I could have forgotten that. That's a good catch. So we will add a header icons, and inside of there we want to target those MUI SVG icons. So it's actually, I think that stands for material UI, because that makes sense. And going down, font size, we will give it a 28 pixels, a color of 82, just like how we had it. So once again, I think the autocomplete will give it to me. Yes, that's it. You want to be as efficient as possible as a developer. Guys, who can follow me? Who is with me? Drop it in the comments. Drop it in the chat. I want to know who is with me. Amana, don't say that. Come on. Yes, I do. All right, and inside of there, we will also want to add a margin of 4 pixels. I just got here. What's up, Omera? Hey, let's go. Massive shout out to everybody who's was here. And okay, you guys are with me. I'll make sure the mixing is gonna be better next time. Whatever. All right, we got the margin of 4 pixels. That is amazing. And going down a little bit, we will have the header icons, and inside of there we obviously have that span, okay, and that will have a margin right of 20 pixels. And guys, this is only to make it look amazing. So I will be linking the GitHub below. You can take it in a bit. I want the GitHub clone. Okay. You guys will be able to take it after the stream. A few hours, I will just upload it and just put it in here. So by tomorrow, the latest, by tomorrow, the link will be in the description. Make sure to come back, check this video once again and again and again, and just understand everything that's going to be happening in here. All right. Dope. Next up, we will have a header icons, and we will target that image, which will give a border radius of 50%, a height of 100%, an object fit of contain, and the margin left of 5 pixels. Taking a look at how we got it, we still have a little bit of fixing to do. I think I forgot some sort of display flex somewhere. Whatever, let's take a look at it. I think I forgot it here. Display of flex. Let's take a look at if it fixes my problems. Yes, it does. There we go. So once we actually set up the login over there, there will be a icon from Google, that one. Okay, boom. Okay, let's actually use a dummy, something that you guys can go ahead and use too. I've actually have this on my clipboard right now, and over here I'm just gonna add this in here, remove the comment, boom, and I will obviously need to import the use state. Stay with me for a little second and I will explain what I'm doing right now. So this is only for demonstration purposes. You guys don't have to watch this whole thing. I'm just going to show you guys what I've just set up, and we will have a user photo. 1 second, and showing what I've done. User.photo URL, bang, and then copy this, go here, the structure, boom, and then add that here, boom. All right, so you see this icon here? That's what I did just right now. Okay, so quickly, what I've done here, I actually built this project earlier, and I have a snippet of code that contains a login data for my account. So we will actually add the authentication at the very end, because otherwise you will have to always keep signing in, which actually slows you down, and I don't want you to do that. So for that, I just added that icon here so I can show you what's going on and what's happening over there, and why did I do all the styling that I did. Now, and we will add the styling later on, so don't worry about that. We will get there just soon enough. Okay. Yes, I will reveal my code themes and fonts in one of my next videos. Want to learn ReactJS? Help learning. I'm a PHP developer. Just stay here on this channel. We pretty much give you a ton of stuff that you can learn from. All right, guys, we are pretty much done with the header. Just saying, this is amazing. So if you are here with me, who actually has that header ready? Because this is actually one dope looking header. Now we can go and continue on. Yes, it's the full app. Yes, it's the full app. Okay. And we will now add the sidebar. Okay, so for that I'm just creating a new folder, and inside of that I will have a few different things happening. Obviously I will have an index.js file, right? Dope. And I just want to make sure that everything is imported, so we will be importing it right away. But first I will just create a new component with RAFCE, and for that and what's gonna happen here is that we will have a few different things happening. I want to make everything a component because I kind of want like I want to break down every big problem to small little problems. So we will have a component that will be the add new file button. Then we will have all these little buttons right over here, which are going to be brand new items. Okay, so let's actually take it. And actually, if I hover over all these, this have that nice little Google Drive effect. You have done a YouTube clone? Yes, we have. Going back in here. So what I will do is, obviously I add a class name, which is going to be sidebar. That's dope. And this is where my new file component will go. Okay. And yes, I will share the project source code down below in the description. Check back later tomorrow, later today or early tomorrow, and I will have it there. Okay. So next up, we will have a sidebar items container. Boom. And those will contain all the sidebar items. So those are going to be imported little components as well. So now we will add a HR, which is actually stands for horizontal line or something. And we will have an other sidebar element in here. So we're good there. We have created the structure. Now let's go ahead and make those new files and all those stuff ready. So first thing first, what we definitely want to do is add a new file in here, which is going to be the new file. The new file, which is going to be in the new file. Oh, it's funny. So the new file is actually going to be another component, just like the other, and we will add a class name, which is going to be new file, and that's dope. And that will have a new file container. So yeah, that's good. And we will add a plus icon in there. Actually, guys, I don't know if it helps you, but it definitely helps me a ton. If I just comment out what's happening in here, just search me up on whatever social media, technology, Android apps. If you want to communicate me, just literally search me up, and that will be it. Yeah, and we will obviously have a text of new. That's it. Now, this will actually pop up a modal in a little bit of later. Bro, please explain where to store the client input data. We will be storing that in a... I'm not exactly sure what you mean, but if it's the files, we will be uploading those to Firebase. We will get started with that soon enough. We are actually using Firebase. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. So that's kind of how it will look like, but let's go back to the Material UI. And what we will have is we want to grab something called the add icon, and that's what we will be adding in there. Okay, so we will have the add icon. Boom. So that's good, and that's what we will have here. So that's pretty much a plus icon. We just need to import all these stuff. So we will say new, oops, a new file. Yes, it auto imports it, as you can see on line number 2. And I'm not sure if I've imported sidebar, but I guess I haven't. So I'm just gonna say import sidebar from ./component/sidebar, which is dope, because now I can add the sidebar under here. And for now, I'm just gonna be like that. So for now, I'm just gonna be adding those there, so we can just mess around with all that stuff. And once we add the authentication, we will be finishing things up and making them looking nice. And we will have the ability to sign in, and then different stuff will be showing up. So for here, we will have a we will have a sidebar items, or sidebar item.js file, which is obviously going to be another component. And yeah, that's pretty much how it will be. So RAFCE, once again, dope. And we will be adding a class name of sidebar item, like this. Okay, and it will contain a sidebar. So sometimes, okay, so if you actually go to the normal Google Drive, some of these icons have that little thing right before, and we will have to do some sort of conditional rendering. So for that, we will be doing this thing. So this means we add a div anyways, but if we pass in the arrow, then we want to add the arrow right icon, which is going to be imported once again from Material UI. So that's amazing. But in case that's not the case, we just want to render out the icon and the label. So we will be passing in the icon and we will be passing in the label. Sorry guys, what is the plugin? VS Code, so the file size import, that is something that will come in a extension video. I think it's, by the way, input cost, I think. But you want to make sure to stay tuned for that, because I have other stuff that just make the code go crazy if I mess something up. So yeah. Why do I structure my files like that? Because if I would have a big project, I would need to make it look amazing, make it easily. So if I can just navigate easily between those files. Okay. So with that said, we are pretty much done with the sidebar item. We just need to throw in a few different stuff, which we obviously destructure on the top. So we will have the arrow, the icon, and the label. So that's cool. And coming in here, we will be passing in a few different things. So if I go ahead and do this, I will be using the sidebar item, right? So for the first two, I'm passing in that arrow thing. So once the arrow is being passed in, I will be rendering out this arrow right icon. And I obviously pass in the icon that I want to show. And for that, and next to it, I want to see my drive showing up. So guys, by the way, this can actually totally be copied from here. You can pretty much do that, but I don't really want to waste anybody's time. And if you're here just watching, it would take a ton of time to manually import. So what I will do is just pass all these in. These are obviously coming from Material UI. Usually the auto imports them, but this is how pretty much we do it. So, and obviously we have this one more thing. Yeah, my girlfriend is commenting that the food has arrived. Yeah, I'm hungry too. So this one last icon comes in here, and if I take a look at how it looks like now, we have all these icons going around, and we will just need to make this style look amazing. So for that, we will add a new CSS file, which we will call the sidebar.css. And before I actually create it, I'm just going to go ahead and import it. And let's go ahead and do that. So sidebar.css, boom. And yeah, okay, let's take a look at that. So inside of there, what we will do is we will say sidebar, and we will hit say a width of a 15%, okay? Because we don't want this to shrink out all the way on the full page, but we want that to be the case when it comes to vertical stuff, okay? And we will give it a margin right of 5 pixels so it can actually breathe. Okay, margin, oh come on, margin right of 5 pixels. So that's super dope. Now, as far as the HR goes, we will have a background color of RGB, and it's just going to be 197, 197, and 197 again. Dang. So this is actually, once again, this lighter grayish color. Let's take a look at how we look like. That's something, but we obviously need to make sure that the sidebar items looks nice. So for that, we actually use the sidebar item.css file. Now let's take a look at that. So sidebar item.css. Oh Jesus. Come on, C#. Ew. So Yo, Manoth, remove that dude. So for that, what we will do is the sidebar item is going to be the following. So we're just gonna target that, and we will give it a display of flex. We will give it a padding of 10 pixel and 0, and we will give it a border radius of, look at this, because this is going to be crazy. So we will have a 0, a 100 pixel, a 100 pixel, and a 0. This is top left, top right, and bottom left. Make sure to note it, what's happening here, okay? Because now I am only giving a border radius of the right hand side. As you can see over here, if I hover over only that side, if I go all the way to the left, it's not border radius, if it makes sense at all. All right, and in case we hover over the sidebar item, we want to give it a shiny little tat, this little tat of blackish something, which is which is a 0.04 opacity black. All right. Now next up, we will have the sidebar item underscore arrow, and we will give it a width of a 28 pixels and a margin left of 12 pixels. So that's dope. And next up, we will have the sidebar item, and we will have a main, which is going to be a display of flex, and the text in there should be should have a margin left of 12 pixels. So that will deliver the desired outcome, hopefully. Okay, we're not just there quite yet. But it is getting itself together, okay? Okay, what's happening in the chat, by the way? How old am I? Too old. Okay, so sidebar. Start browsing 15 pixels, whatever. We will just figure it out. All right, and yeah, we imported it. Whatever. Okay, we will add a new file in here, which is going to be the style for the new file item. Okay. I didn't want that to be a JavaScript file. It should have been a CSS. That's it. And that needs to be imported in the new file. So yeah, right there. And oh my god, goes all the way over here. Okay. Yeah, so the new file.css is going to be a little bit tricky. We will have all this stuff happening in here. So we will give it a display of flex and align item of center, padding of 12 pixels on bottom, on above and below, and 0 pixels on the sides. Now the padding left actually needs to be 20 pixels. I should have gone with the trouble method, but I just went this way. Now the container is going to have a display of flex. It will centralize all the stuff both vertically and horizontally. So the justify content is responsible for the horizontal axis and the align item for the vertical axis. Now this here you can see the trouble, which means top, right, bottom, and left. That's what happened here. So the top 6 pixels, right 32 pixels, bottom 6 pixels again, and the left is going to be 8 pixels. This is a huge hack that you can learn. And the border radius is going to be a 50 pixel. Now the box shadow, I honestly grabbed it from somewhere online because I hate messing with box shadows. But the box shadow is going to be 0, 1 pixel, 2 pixel, 0, RGBA 60, 64, 67, 0.302, and all the way. This is something that you want to always generate with some sort of box shadow generator. If you search it at Google, it will show it up. And the text will have a margin left of 14 pixels. If it's bursting your eardrums, make sure to lower the volume. All right, next up, let me drink. Okay, next up. And now we actually have this nice little button over here with the cursor pointer and all that kind of stuff. So that's amazing. Now, next up, we would just pass in the... You're good at RGB colors. I was messing with those a lot. Those took me time. I came prepared. So we would just pass in all that file view that is coming in here. And that's pretty much the main stuff that will happen in there. So for that, inside of the components, we will add a new folder which we will call files view. And oh my god. And for that, we will add a new file called filesview.js. Actually, let me go ahead and close all these windows. So I want to have the app.js and the filesview.js open and nothing else. So the files view is going to be a component again, and I just want to add the class name of file view. Yes, file view, and it will have a row in there which is going to be containing all the file cards. Okay, so if you remember on the top, I will show it in just a bit, we will have a ton of file cards. Okay, file cards like that. So if you take a look at this, that's all those images. Now we will start with the list under it. So yeah, let's get that done first. Okay, coming in here, we will have obviously the titles, which is going to be file, view, titles, and that we have a left and a right. And we are going to be using almost the same CSS twice, but don't worry, this is just to make sure everything looks cool. So we will have a file, view, titles, dash left, because we are following the BEM naming convention, and inside of a p tag we will have the name. Now once again, we will have the file, view, underscore titles dash right, which is going to contain the last modified, okay, last modified, and we will even calculate the file's size. So that's something to keep in mind when it actually, all these little stuff are going to give so much more value to your application. And this is where all the file items will go. All right, so who is following me, by the way? Who is here? Who is here with me? Okay. Am I going to go down the revision? Okay, all good. So yeah, we have 159 people watching right now. I'm so thankful for you guys. That is amazing that all of you guys are here. So massive applause for you. All right, with that said, let's continue. I'm new here. Okay, we see a few different guys who are here. Can someone explain what he is actually doing? I'm new here. I am building, my friend, the Google Drive clone. This is how it will look like. This is where we are at right now. Yes, Google Drive with ReactJS. Yes, just make sure, come back to this video. We will have a shorter version of it. I will have the code down below, so you will have all the resources that you want to have. Voice not clear sometimes. That's because my own voice is dying. All right, so to actually have files that we can render out, we need to make sure that we upload those files. So going back to our new file.js, what we want to do is actually first add a Firebase .js file. Yeah, and if you guys remember, we had this snippet of code with all the stuff that was happening. I hope this is the one, because if it's not, yes, 73FOB, yeah. So make sure that you get the right API keys and all that stuff that you will need for this project, because that's where we will be saving all our files. So, but before we can actually do that, we need to add a few different stuff, and one of them being Firebase and the Firebase tools. So these are actually two npm packages that we are using to interact between Firebase and our application. So that's something amazing to have, and it is actually a bit of a hustle to set up, but once it's done for all. And we will be doing a few different stuff in here. One of them is going to be actually creating the app instance, which is going to be a Firebase app, and it's going to be an initialized app, and we're just going to throw in the Firebase config, and then we will create an authentication service, which is going to be using the Firebase.auth service, and we will just use that API. Then we will have a const that will be the provider, because we are, guys, we're actually going to be using Google Sign In. So that's, you might be thinking that's like a total trip to create, but it's actually super easy to set up. So we will say firebase.auth.google auth provider, and that's it. And we will have two more things. One of them is going to be the storage, and the other one is going to be the Firestore. So those are the two things that we will need. And then we just go ahead and export everything: auth, provider, DB, and storage. So that's pretty much setting up Firebase. Oh my god, my voice was low. Whatever. So going back to the new file, that's when we will actually start using all this. So to make sure everything works, we will need to import Firebase from Firebase, and storage and DB from the file that we just created. Now, hey robot is that? Yeah. We will do a few different stuff here. We will need to set up a modal that will just pop up, and we'll have two buttons, and then we will make sure that that will be responsible for our uploading processes. So for that, we have these things happening. We will import the make styles and the modal from Material UI once again. Future will coming from extension of themes. Yes. And we will actually, I actually went ahead and researched all these settings, right? So everything in here is actually coming from Google, the Material UI documentation. You can go ahead and search up Material UI models, and this is what it will show. Okay, so this is how you set it up, and we just need to add a few different stuff in here so to make sure that everything is aligned and in place. So this is kind of like getting towards the styled components ish thing. And yeah, now for next up, we will need, once again, this is all coming from Material UI. You guys can go ahead and basically copy all this stuff. So we will have these classes, which is going to be using these styles that we just defined. We will just throw it into the model, and the model style will be updated with this get model file, and we will set up a few different use states from React. So that's something to keep in mind. So we will need to definitely import those stuff. And now this is where we will go ahead and upload everything. Okay. So in order for us to have this model thing, this is once again copied from all the way from Material UI, going over here and just pasting it in here. So we will have a model which is going to be open once this state is actually set to true. Okay, now the on close will actually fire off a handle close function. We haven't declared it yet, no problem. And we have some SEO stuff in here going on, and we have a div in there which will need to use the modal style that we just defined here, and that's going to be once again coming from Google. And now once we are actually uploading, this is something that we will set up. Then we don't want anything to show up. We don't want anything to show up but an uploading sign. If it's not the case, then we want to have two inputs. One of them is a file that will be responsible for selecting those files that we want to upload, and a button. Okay, so those are the two things that we will have in there. And that's pretty much it for the upload part for now. Now we will have to make sure that that model opens and closes as we need them to do. So we will have these two functions over here, and once we hit the handle open, which is actually going to be triggered once we hit the button. So we need to add this in. Whoops, not there. Not even there. There. Hold on. So once we hit that button, we want this modal to be open. That's when we will just fire it off. It will turn this on, and then the modal pops up. Once we click out of it, we want that to be actually closed. So we will just say set open equals false. Confusing a little bit. Just make sure to watch it a few different times, and then you will understand it. And it's all the wraps. I will have the code down below, a shorter version up by tomorrow, the latest, and then you can go ahead and understand everything. Now we will actually, okay. So once we have our file selected, we will make sure that this handle change runs, okay? So that handle change, where is it? Here we are. So that const handle change will actually be important so that we make sure that our file is selected. Now, if yes, e.target.files equal and the first item, so 0, okay. So if we have that file, we want that to be set to inside of this specific use state that we just declared up top. Now, and that's what we will just throw in there. So we will just say either target.files 0. Now this is not uploading the file just yet, but we have it inside of our application. So once we click upload, it will start the process. So if we go down here and we see this button, which is going to fire off this handle upload function, that's what will make sure that our files are getting uploaded. So const handle upload then we will set the uploading process to true, right? So that's when actually this is going to kick in, and we will just have the uploading text showing up. And with that, because we already declared the storage, we want to have the storage, the reference, and inside of there we will have the files folder, and in there we want to create a file which is going to use the file name that we just uploaded. Okay, hope it makes sense. And that's where we want to put our file. But once that's done, we will actually wait for it to get done. We will have a snapshot. Yep. And once that's done, we can just go ahead and console log it, which is good. Snapshot, yes. And then we will say storage the reference, and inside of the files we want to grab the download URL, so that way you're not just uploading files, you can actually download them. Now the file child is going to be, yeah, so in here we will say file name and get download URL. Why is it? Yep. So that's the file. Okay, so right now what we're doing is we are looking into that specific file that we just uploaded, and we grab the download URL, and once we have that, then we want that to be saved into our NoSQL database. Okay, so we will just say db.collection collection. And we would just create a my files folder in there, or actually collection. Yeah. And we will say add, and we will add a timestamp, which is going to be the firestore dot field value dot server timestamp. So that way, if I have a specific time, I don't know, so it is 1:18 p.m. Los Angeles time, but say I'm working with somebody from Stockholm, their time is past 10 p.m. I think it's 10:80 p.m. What's up, everybody who's joining now? We are building the Google Drive clone using Firebase and React. So we will see the time according to our time zone. So once that's cool, once that's done, we want to add a caption, which will be the file.name. Ooh. We don't want to forget those commas. And then we will have a file URL. That's actually what we got in the first place. And we will want to save the size of the file, which is going to be snapshot dot underscore delegate dot bytes transferred. This is actually the little details that make all the difference, especially on a coding interview or something like that. So make sure to understand what's happening here. It might take a little bit of time for you to understand and memorize everything, but once you get the code, make sure to take a look at every single piece. What's happening? Yes, it's capturing. Good catch. Thank you. Okay, so now we should be able to upload files to Firebase. Okay, something is up. All right, fuck. So sidebar has some issues and Firebase.js has some issues. Okay, in here I forgot to import Firebase from Firebase. Yes. And files in the new file. Which line of code? 57. Oh yeah, like that. Okay, so because we are just only putting the one file in there. Okay. Now I got it. Okay. Still freaking out. Yes, because I screwed it up there too. One file. Dope. All right. Things are getting together. Now we have some sort of functionality coming up here. We can select whatever file we want to upload there. But since it's not showing, it wouldn't show up, I am not doing. Actually, let's do that. Okay, so I have this parrot image over here. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit up. I hit escape. I'm just gonna go ahead, select that and choose for upload, and then go ahead and upload it. User doesn't have permission to access files, parrots, whatever. Let's take a look at what's going on. So if I go into storage, I might haven't started that. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on in here as well. We have the storage happening. That's good. Storage unauthorized. Yep. Choose file. Select. Guys, this is debugging mode. What's up, Venezuela? Okay. User does not have permission to access. Let's take a look at what's happening in here. Okay, let's take a look at what's up. Okay, can we take up the like up to 300? Let me debug it first, okay? Okay, might be the Firebase project that has issues, by the way. So it's a web app. Boom. Let's take a look at what's going on. Let's debug this. Boom, boom, boom. I think you have to edit the rules in Firebase storage. Could be. Actually, it shouldn't be a problem, by the way. But yeah, let's take a look at that. Oh yeah, haha, good catch. Somebody give this guy a medal. He just figured it out. Yeah, I forgot it. So if you see the same error, no problem, because our user is not authenticated. Firebase is just not gonna let us add files in there. So to actually fix that problem, or not that much of a problem because it's secure, you're just gonna go ahead and delete everything behind right, add a semicolon, and just gonna go hit publish. And now we should be good to go. So if I go ahead, do the same thing once again, add this file, upload. Let's see what's happening. Let's go. It's uploaded. Okay, let's take a look at inside of our storage as well. Yes, files. And here we go. This is our file that we just uploaded. Dope. That's a good catch. Thanks, bro. Massive shout out to Sami Rizban for this amazing catch. All right. We have all the stuff happening in here inside of our Firestore. And guys, we are not too much far behind of schedule. So let's continue. All right. So new file is done. Going to file views. Okay, going to file views. Yes. And what we would do here is once we actually load up this file, let me just put this snippet of code in here. So first thing first, we will need to define a use state, which we obviously import from React. Let's do that. So we import use state, we import use effect because we are going to be using both of those. Yep. So first thing first, we will create a use state. And once we are cool with that, then what we will do is we will start a use effect, which will go into our database, into our collections, inside of my files, create a snapshot, and then just give that thing a value. So the snapshot.docs.map, and inside of every single doc will be destructured to ID and item. So these things are what that document is going to be made up of. And if you take a look at this, this is the doc.data, and this is the doc.id. So that's just something to keep in mind. But for that to actually work, we will need to import the DB from Firebase, which is cool. So now that we are done with that part, what we need to do, what's up, Chris B? What we need to do now is we were just going to go ahead and list out all the files that we have. So we will create a new file, which we will call file without caps lock, file item.js, boom, and RESCE, that's it. And we will just add a class name of file item, like that. Now for that, we will do a a few different things. First thing first, and most importantly, what we will do is add in all these stuff. We will add in all these stuff. Now, okay, what's happening here? So first off, we will import a insert drive file icon, which is going to be the file icon actually. Then we will have all these months, and that will help us determine what is the actual date that we created our file. Then this is going to be the specific file item, which will grab an ID, a caption, a timestamp, a file URL, and the size. So basically we are rotating all the stuff in here that we saved into our database, right? Now, first off, we will create a file date, which is going to be a day, a month, 3-letter month, and a year. So for that, we will use the timestamp if it exists, and then we will transfer it to date and then grab the date out of it, which is actually the day. Then we will grab the month's names up on here, and we will do the same, but we will be getting the month, and we will add +1. I'm not even sure why we added 1. Let's take a look at that. Okay, and next up we will have the timestamp, the to date, and we will grab the year out of it. Now, this is actually a snippet of code that I copied from Stack Overflow, which pretty much just grabs a number and turns it into a readable file size string. So what that means is instead of seeing a bunch of numbers, which we see over here, we will see 17 something megabytes or something, or maybe even 1.7 megabytes. We will see. It will turn it into a nicely and easily readable format. So if you go into here, you see 1.6 megabytes to 46.7 kilobytes. So that's what we want to do. Now, so we're cool there. Yes, we removed this part. Okay, so these are the parts that I actually copied from Stack Overflow. This is pretty much available to anybody who wants to go ahead and grab these, but I highly recommend either checking out the Git repo down below, or actually will be down below a day or two more, or just copying it from the screen. But with that said, I'm just gonna go ahead and continue. Now, next up, which editor am I using? VS Code. Next up, what I will do is I'm just gonna create an A, and the href is what's up, Amanat? Let's go. $5 donation. Let's go. Let's get it. All right. Let's continue. Amazing. Amanat is such a cool dude. All right, so the href is going to be the file URL. So basically, once we click the file, it will open it up in a new tab because we set the target to _blank, like that. And we just want to make sure that it's a downloadable file, so we just add that tag there, and that's cool. Now we will have inside of here a few different things. One of them being is the file item left, that's going to contain the icon that we just imported up over here, and the caption that we are passing in here. Now, we are not passing in it just yet, but we're catching it before. I had to use my VPN for that. Oh, well, that's what happens when nothing is available in your region. I know that. All right, next up, we have the file item right that will contain the file date that we just structured up over here with a bunch of template literals and all that stuff, and then we will make sure that the readable file size string is there too. So that being said, we pretty much have a row of files. Let's take a look at how it looks like, and it's gonna freak out because we haven't actually added it yet, so that's good. So now moving back to file views, fileview.js, we will need to loop through all the files that we just downloaded from Firebase over here in the use effect. So for that to happen, we are just going to say files.map, and we will destructure the file right away, and we will obviously have the ID and the item inside there, so that's good. And we will just add in a new file item, so we import it right away. No, we haven't imported it right away, so that's a problem. So I'm just gonna go ahead and import the file item from the same folder, which is going, yeah, file item, just like that. And I want to go ahead and throw in the ID as the ID, right? Then we will have the caption, which is going to be item.caption. So what we are basically doing here is just scrubbing through the whole entry of the database, and then just each and every single little thing is going to be passed into that file item component. So let's take a look at how it looks like right now, and still not amazing. So something is still up. Let's take a look at what we got here. I'm not sure if oh yeah, no. I haven't added it in here either. So we're just gonna say file view, boom. And let's see if now it works. Okay, files view is not defined. Not a problem. Oh yeah. So for that, we definitely need to import that part as well. And that is going to be imported from exactly here. What's up, Derek? High five, bro. Let's take a look at how it looks like right now. Can't resolve file item.js. All right, we're just gonna do a little bit of debugging here because something apparently is up. Okay, file item.css. I think I haven't made that just yet, but I imported it already. So let's take a look at that part. All right, so everything is getting under it. So we just need to fix something up here. We will need to add a display flex. So for that, we will be going into app.css. What can I learn here, guys? You can learn here how to build a Google Drive. So what we would do here is the app.main needs to have a display flex. So we're just going to go into over here and just add it in here. Path is wrong. Nope, it's not. Now it should be. Actually, I haven't made that file just yet. So yeah, path is wrong, but yeah. Okay, let's take a look at how we look like right now. Still not good. And that's because we need to create the structure of the app file. So how does it look like? We will need to add in a new div in here. And guys, don't freak out. Like this is literally how it's done. It's okay to run into errors. It's completely fine. You're just fixing it up. So what happens here is we have the header on the top, right? And all these things are only going to appear once we authorize the user, or we sign in actually. And we want to differentiate this from the header, because otherwise everything would be next to each other. But we want the header to be on the top, and whatever comes after is next to be each other. Okay, we will have three different components coming in there, and out of those three we have already done two. So yes, we are, in that case we are pretty good there. Let's refresh, and now we have all these things happening. So that is going to be the title over there, title right above the line. Okay, and we will have the file name and the all these stuff. And notice that we see the app class name not following. Bam. Yep, just yet it's not, but I'm just gonna fix that real quick. So we see that we have 1.6 megabytes of file happening there. Okay, so that is good. All right, what we are gonna do now is make sure that all these things look nice, and then add two more things and we are cool. Okay, so we are done with the file item. Now we need to add in a file item.css file, which I actually didn't do last time, but now it is time. So file item.css. Guys, if this is confusing, that is 100% okay. That is because I'm going a little bit into several places, but please make sure to come back, check this video once again, and check out the GitHub repo down below in the description. And I promise that everything is going to be cleared out 100%. All right, going back into the code, we are going to target the file item, which is going to have a height. Which is going to have a height of 55 pixels and a border bottom of 1 pixel solid, and the RGB of 219. And 219. All right, we will do the exact same thing for the border top as well, and we will have a width of a 100%. All right. So one little maintenance thing over here is what I'm gonna do is wait just a little bit. So 1 second, let me just load all this stuff. All right. Whatever. All right, so the width is going to be 100%, and so that makes sure that the whole file is actually going all the way, so the file item is using all the space that it can. So the file item so we want to remove all that ugliness happening, so we just want that to have a 100% of height, and we want that to have a display of flex, as well as the text decoration of none. I will go through the CSS preprocessors in another video, okay? So the text decoration is going to be none, and we will set the color to this nice little RGB 85, 78, and 78. That will be a grayish something. So to make sure that the colors inside of it's actually making sure that that file is looking good. So with that, next up, we're moving on to the div inside of there. We actually want to go ahead and import all this file, and with that done, we are good. All right, so the file item, yeah. Okay, so inside of the file item, the link, and we will just target all the divs inside of that link, and we will select display. We will make sure that everything is next to each other. So we will say display of flex, and we will give it an align items of center, so everything is vertically aligned. Let me just do a few different things over here. Yeah, right there, dope. And now we want to actually target all the child items of those divs. So we will say file item dot a and div, and inside of there is going to be a star. So that actually makes sure that all the items inside of those so these two are going to be targeted, and those are going to have a margin of 10 pixels, right? Now the file item dash right, actually left, is going to be a flex, is going to have a flex of 1, and we actually should have a nicely looking file item over here. Now we obviously need to stretch the whole thing out all the way. Yeah, we will have to stretch out the whole thing all the way, but once we're done with that, we will be good. So for that to happen, we need to go back to the file item. Nope. The files view that CSS file, which we haven't actually created just yet. And okay, hold on a second. All right, dope. All right, so each and every single individual items are now looking good. Okay, I kind of lost my chain of thought. And we'll just close this. Yep, dope. Okay, so now we're back on track. We can finish this off strong in a little bit. And what we will do is we will go in the styles and create a files view, files view.css file. Jeez. Not CS. Come on. And what we will do is we will obviously import that inside of files view. So to make sure that everything is looking clean. And for that, what we will say in there is we will make sure that the whole thing is stretched to the all the way, so it will use 100%. Then we will target the row, which is going to be, I think we'll need to add 2 underscores. So file view underscore row, and inside of there we will add a height of 250 pixels. We will add a display of flex, and then align item of center, so everything is going to be vertically aligned to the center. Now the file view underscore titles is going to be a display of flex, then a margin bottom of 5 pixels, then we will have set the color of it to RGB, and we will set it to 85, then 78 and 78. Next up, we will be targeting all the titles, and we will make sure that everything is aligned and all in place. So we should be looking at something like this if there wasn't some sort of issue. Files view title. Let's take a look at titles. Let's take a look at what we have here. Once again, there's some sort of typo happening here. Make sure to check the typos and all those stuff, because that's where my whole styling is going crazy right now, because I have these typing issues. So we will have file view titles left. Okay, so sometimes there is the S, sometimes I forgot it, so make sure to, yeah, okay, now we are good. It's all the way stretched and all. Okay, now everything is looking all nice and clean. We are getting this together. We will finish this off strong. And now with that part done, we will be, okay, so this is working perfect. We will be adding those cards in here, the items in here, and the authentication, and we should be done in less than 20 minutes. So with that done, we will close up all these little things, and we will just go in here and add the file card. So the file card is going to be a new file, a new component. So file card.js. We will just type in refc, just like always, to create a new component. So that will be a class name of, what is it, file card, and it will have a top, which will have the usual icon that we use throughout the application from Material UI. So that's actually something to make sure to save it and to have it somewhere. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Dope. So with that said, we will have another div, which is going to be the bottom of that file card. And for that to work, we will need to pass in the name of the file. Now, for that to happen, we will need to be looping through the whole thing, but we don't want it to be cluttered all the way, so we will just render out 5 of those. So we will be going back to the files view, and this is where we import the file cards file. Okay, so for that to happen, we would just go in and import. So notice that this is the file that I just created over here, and for that to actually function, we will be slicing it up, slicing the array up. So what happens here? So we will say files.slice, and we just want to grab out the first item all the way to the 5th item, but nothing else, right? So if there is 10 items, we will just see the first 5. And the reason for that is we don't want the whole row to be full with those stuff. So we will just say, and we will just map those, and we will say ID and item, because we destructure it right away. And new arrow function, and we will just have the file card, and we will throw in the name. So we will say item.caption. All right, that should be it. But because we are actually adding JSX, we are not using squiggly braces. We are using the normals. Okay, now it's still freaking. Oh yeah, and you need to close the JSX tag. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, let's take a look at how we look like right now. Yeah, that's good. And we made it super big. So right now, we will be importing the CSS to that specific file card file. And we need to go ahead and create that real quick. So, which is going to be file card.css. Boom. And card CSS. Now, this thing, I actually copied the whole thing from Google Drive. So the best way to clone applications is to actually go there and then just grab out the CSS. So they have those things. They are 190 high, width of 240 pixels. They will have a border radius of 10 pixels. And they will have a border of 1 pixel solid, and an RGB of 219, hello, and 219. And we will have a margin of 5 pixels, obviously, over there, so that it actually can breathe a little. Now, this is actually, as we just built it, it is actually built up in 2 things. The one of them is the file card top. It will have a height of 70%, a bottom border of 1 pixel solid, 290 with this almost white but still gray color. We will give it a display flex and justify and align everything to the center. So basically we stack it in the middle of that part. Now, below that, we have the file card bottom, which will have a display of flex and align item center, justify center, width of 100% and height of 30%. So that's once again, we just put the text in the middle. Now, the max width of that text should be 90 pixels of its parent container, and we will hide the overflow and make sure the text doesn't wrap, because that's not how Google Drive works. So this is how it is working. And guys, 2 more things left to do: side icons on the right hand side and the authentication, and we are good. So let's do the side icons right now. So what we will say is we will definitely need a new folder. Yes, we will need to have a new folder, so it's going to be side icons, and inside of there we will have an index.js file. And we will create the component just like every single time. And in here, I actually made a few Google searches and searched up the top 3 applications that come up for me in my personal Google Drive. I'm obviously not going to show it. So yeah, those are for me the Google Calendar, the Keep, and the Google Tasks. So for that, what's up, Pranet? So for that to work, we will need to add these images. Now, I highly recommend everybody goes ahead, opens up a new tab, and just type in Google Calendar icon, hit return, and I don't know, just grab one of those, and then right click, copy image address, and then just paste it in there. So that's literally how I've done it. Check out which one is on the top for you. I have Google Keep, Google Calendar, and Google Tasks. So those are the icons that I have. I just went ahead, did the thing that I just showed, and then make sure to add the alt text for SEO purposes. Now, these are actually going to be on the top of the side icons. So these we will create a div there, and we will just wrap it around there. Now we will have a horizontal line in there as well, and we will need an add icon down below because that's how it looks like, which is going to be obviously a plus icon. We just import it from the good old Material UI, and then we create the CSS file and make sure it looks all aligned and nice and perfect. So we will create side icons.css. What's up, Atharwa? How you doing, bro? What's good, my man? This guy actually crushes it. He is the part of our course Profit with JavaScript, and he smashes that, just like the like button, right? So now we are good on that side, and what we would do now is we would just say dot side icons, and these will have a width of 50 pixels, a display of flex direction of column, and aligning the items to the center. And we will have a border left of 1 pixel solid, and the RGB 219, 219, 219, the usual ones. I'm doing amazing. I'm doing fantastic during this live stream. We are live for more than 2 hours, and more than 100 people are here. So that's amazing. That's amazing, guys. 10 more minutes and we will be done. So, what do you mean align items doesn't work? It does work. Align items works vertically, okay? And only works if there is a display flex before that. But since here we have the flex direction to column, it's going to be horizontal, but the flex is always, yeah. You see what I mean? I kind of hope so. So the side icons, we will have a width of 100%, a display of flex direction column, and align items to center. And we will have we will target all those images inside of there. They will be object fit contain, width of 30 pixels, and the margin of 10 pixel above and below, and 0 on the sides. Now we would want to target that HR tag and give it a margin of 12 pixels on both sides, but above and below, and 0 on both sides, and give it a width of 90%. And the plus icon will going to be a display of flex, and we will just center that. So that should cut it once we import that file into our app.js. So we're just going to say import side icons from components and side icons, and that's good. So we're just going to side icons. We should be good to go soon. All right, there we go. There you have it. Over there, the side icons. Now, one more thing left to do, which is the authentication. And this is going to be super, super easy because we are using Firebase. So what is going to happen here is that if we go back to our app.js file, we will remove all these dummy data, right? And that will leave us a completely empty use state, right? So that means we do not have a logged in user at this specific moment in time. And to make sure that there is no user that is unauthorized can log in, we will need to make sure that if there is no user, so if there is a user, then we want to smash the like button and put all these things here. But if there is no user, then we want to make sure that a login is enforced. So in that case, we will be throwing that in, and also make sure that there is a container tag on both sides. So in case we have the user, we will just throw everything in there in between these empty tags. So that makes so everything is going to be smashed into one little piece, as well as down here. And if there is no user, then we will just throw this app login in here. We will just throw in the Google Drive logo and a button that will enforce the login. Now for that to work, we will need the Google Drive logo to be imported. And this is where we will be using the authentication and the provider that we exported from Firebase. Now, we are only 99 people at this point. So to get in a few people, make sure to let everybody know who is watching. Just call in a few friends, just finish it off, 100 plus. Make sure we finish this off strong. So user is available just in JS ES7. Nope, we need to set it first. So this is the user that I'm referring to here. Okay, so I don't want that to be mixed up. Now we will be firing off this handle login function over here. So for that to work, we are going to be const handle login, and that function is going to check if there is a user. Because if there isn't a user, right? Yeah. Stay home. I'm home. All right. So if there is no user, then what we will say is auth.sign-in with pop-up. So that will create a new window. And we just throw in the provider, which is the Google sign-in provider. Then we will get some sort of result. And with that result, we want to do a few different things. So then we want to set the user, and we're just going to say result.user. And that's it. That's pretty much it. Let's take a look at what's happening here. Okay, we need to make sure that it looks cool and nice. So for that, we are going to go into app.css and oh, server-side rendering lately. Yes, we will actually I'm going to be dropping a few different tutorials on that too, so stay tuned for that. All right, so, and lastly, we will make it look nice. So app app login, and we will say width of 100, view width, yes, height of 100, view height. We will say display grid this time, and we're just gonna say place items actually, and we will say center, and the button inside of there is going to be it's not going to have a border. We will set the font size to 24 pixels. Background color, this is some sort of bluish, 67, 130, and 244. We will set the color to white, the padding to 10 pixel on above and below, 20 pixel on the sides, and the border radius is going to be 6 pixels, and we will set all the transitions to 0.2 seconds, because when we hover over it, we will set the cursor to pointer and the background color to this darker blue, which is for 4994 179, and a transform of 1.1 scale. So let's see how that looks like. This is how it looks like, and if I hover over it, it becomes a little bit bigger, just a tad, and a little bit darker. So that's a nice little touch with the UI over there. I am over here signing in with Google, clicking that link, and with that I can just add a new file, say this black parrot, bang, and I'm just gonna hit upload, and we are done. So that was it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. We just built the Google Drive clone. I hope you enjoyed it. So make sure, if you did, go ahead, smash that like button, and whatever you want me to build next for this channel or for you guys, make sure to submit it down below. There's an Airtable link where we are expecting all those technologies that you're interested in. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We finished it up super strong. We are at 110 people, 2.5 hours straight in coding. So that was it. Thank you for joining. This is David from cleverprogrammer.com, and I'll see you in the next video.